crucial moment for the wider region and for Europe as well. And I'm really pleased that we can take the time this afternoon to discuss this. I'm Emil Bongaerts from the European Forum for Democracy and Solidarity, here tuning in from the Netherlands. And I'm really happy to host this session together with you again. Some quick notes is that we're recording this session, of course. You are watching this live on YouTube. And you're also able to post some questions in the Q&A. So please do so, and I will forward these in this session. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them anytime. Yeah, and let's get started. So we are here with Miloš Đajić. You're the president from the Center for Modern Skills and activist for such a long time in Serbia. It's a pleasure having you here. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Emil, for inviting me to speak of very important things for our actual situation, which is trying to be resolved on I hope, on some future snap elections. Okay, I'm Miloš from Center of Modern Skills from Serbia, from Belgrade, and today I want to speak with you and maybe give you some precise information about the student protest. Today, 1st of July, we are on the 8th month from tragic canopy which is collapsed on the main train station in Novi Sad on the 1st November on 11:52. In that they killed 16 people, I'm sure that you know, but the important things about this train station is that this train station was renovated and reopened on July 24 as a new, modern and big step in the future. And also important things, our government paid 50 millions or invested 50 millions to renovate this train station. And the third important thing is that on the same day when tragic event was happened, President falsely claimed that the canopy hadn't been renovated. It is not true. What happened after this tragedy sparked mass student and civic protests on 22nd of November during the peaceful commemoration and street blockade in front of Faculty of Drama in University of Art in Belgrade. The students were physically assaulted. The attackers were later identified as SNS, Serbian Progressive Party, government party officials. This led to start the student blockade. The students after that event returned to faculty and blocked the faculty, and it was the first blocked faculty. After that, very quickly, all four major university centers, the faculty in university started to blockade, especially in Belgrade and Novi Sad, and it's starting and finishing around 15th of December. It's 3 or 4 weeks, and we have blocked 67 of faculty in that period. The four initial demands were full transparency about the canopy reconstruction, identification and prosecution of those responsible for attack on students on 22nd of November, dropping charge against protecting students, and 20% increase the university budget. And they starting to developing messaging and was very influential about this four demand. On 28th of January, after students, girl students from my faculty in Novi Sad was brutally attacked and her jaw broken by also SNS-linked individuals, the government resigned and collapsed, and after that, until 16th of April, we doesn't have government. In whole this period, it was the government technically mandate. This was followed as a wave of protest unseen in Serbia in scale of and passion since 2000. This culminating on the protests of 15th of March, when some independent counter says that we have 350,000 of people or 400,000 of people, something like this. And it was maybe biggest protest in Belgrade ever. And on what's happened on this day, during this event, during the silence, 16 minutes of silence, illegal directorial sound weapons were used, and it was something what changed the demands and some kind of willingness of the students. And since then, during the April, students have biked to Strasbourg and have meeting in European Parliament and also in the Council of Europe. And also we have the group of runner.
Yeah, the runners as well.
Yes, who ran to Brussels and deliver their demands. On May 5th of May, students officially called a snap parliamentary election, and despite the government we know that government in previous 13 years where Serbian Progressive Party was lead government, we have 3 times snap election and only 1 times regular election, but they now refuse to call the snap election. On June 8th, local elections were held in the Đajić and Kosjerić. This is a municipality where we have a regular election, and opposition list made strong gains. Today,
and Miloš, just to come in on those local elections very quickly for the information for the viewers. These are quite small municipalities, right, in Serbia?
No, then is middle level of the city, and other is a very small municipality. The Đajić is a larger with 38,000 of voters. Kosjerić is smaller than with around 9,000 of voters. Especially in Đajić we had 8 lists, included two opposition lists, 3 government lists, and 3 regime-affiliated satellite lists. Kosjerić was simpler, where we have only 3 lists, but 1 opposition and 1 government, but 1 was ethnic minority list, Russia list, and the government trying with them to make 1 councillor, which could be enough for their majority, but fortunately they doesn't have census. And despite widespread irregularities, opposition turnout was very strong, and mobilization of people from whole Serbia was very high.
Yeah, that's says a lot. I will also wanted to come back on those local elections also in a bit.
Yes.
Thanks already for this, Miloš, for this chronology from everything that happened.
Yes, I want to have some kind of framework, but I will return on the election, because today we have the repeating vote in one station in Kosjerić, but there is a real war. This is some polling station with 439 example voters, and until 1 o'clock we had 55% of going out, and we are now looking what's happened. It's all government machine is and push to there to see, and we will see how the results will be, because these results could change the final results, because the final results was only 51 votes in front of the government side.
Yeah, exactly. And that says also a lot already, since last election has been very, very difficult to breach the control the government has over the election process, and also of the lead up in the elections. Maybe to return to the dynamic of protests since November 1, you very well explained why the protests are there after the Novi Sad canopy catastrophe, and after the violence that happened against students in Novi Sad and also Belgrade. Of course, you have a lot of experience also in the field and a lot of context, and you're doing these regular updates also for people that want to follow. And now, last Saturday, there was a giant protest again in Belgrade. Can you tell us something about the atmosphere there, what the mood was?
Yes, on Saturday, 28th of June, we have 150,000 of people, very, very massive protest. Or if we are calculating the very high temperature here in Belgrade, today is 36, on Saturday it was around 35, around 31, 32, but this was a massive protest led by students, and they are trying to push the people in some kind we call the civil disobedience, something kind of that they starting to also fight for their rights in the local community. I want to we will speak about maybe later about the group of the people or community who are participating in the student protest, but here we have so many people, and in front of my building now we have blocked streets here in Zemun, following. And also other speciality of this protest is the following this process, provocation and manufactured clash led by selective police violence. We have very, very few students who are beaten, with the injuries, very hard injuries, and we had from Saturday until last night 70 students who was arrested, and repression of the police and government be intensifying. I think it's starting to be much more present on the street, they use prosecution, they use the judge, they use all the system tools to make the pressure on the students.
Yeah, exactly. And do you feel like, because in earlier protests there also has been some violence here and there, especially in Novi Sad in the beginning, but then the regime and the government, I think, also saw that using violence during these protests also makes the protest bigger, makes people even more angry, mobilizes even more. But now we see violence from police forces coming back, a lot of people being arrested. Do you feel the government is emboldened in a sense, and why is that the case? Why is the government now choosing this tactic, you would say?
We have the problem from the past 8 months, because we haven't government representative who trying to make some kind of dialogue, and government ignore demands of students. The government doesn't make the investigation about the solar weapon. Government doesn't have to make any kind of possibility to resolve the problem. We had the situation that as at the beginning on the 5th of November, when we have the escalation of the violence. After that, we have very peaceful protests, and very big and peaceful protests. And yesterday, some journalists asked me if this protest will be violent. No, I think it is very important. I understood that the students is peaceful, and they led the peaceful movement. Doesn't want to have any clash with the police, with the government. They only want to have the very strong message about our state, our institution, our procedure, our system, which is not good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so now this giant protest, yeah, we're there again. There are a lot of students again in the streets from different cities. There also have been protests in other big cities in Serbia, like Niš, Kraljevac, like in Novi Sad. It has been huge across the country in the last couple of months. But I suppose also very much a challenge for the students to keep up the energy, because also there is a lot of repression. The universities are being closed for months and months in a row. There's also a lot of pressure on the professors, on the teachers, because they don't get paid, right?
Yes,
They don't get their payments because the government stopped the payments for the
yes.
university. So how do you foresee the next steps, like for the movement? It's of course the $1 million question, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very difficult situation, I suppose.
University communities, especially university professor and all people who are employed by university who support students and their demands, is very active during the whole period of 8 months. The important things that we had also as a professor, as a professor, we have a protest in front of government during 70 days, which finished at last Thursday. And we are trying, we had our demands about the salaries, which is cut, about the quotas for the new generation of the students, which can be approved by government. And the third thing is some kind of documents which is adopted in March, which change completely our organizational structure on the faculty and university, and push the research part of our daily work on the university completely, as it is not something important. They only focus on the classes, but university is all research, because we must research things, and after that push that things and results in the classes. And I think it's very dangerous for the whole university, public university in Serbia.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's big pressure being mounted on the variety of bodies of the universities. And so, yeah, Milos, you have a lot of experience, like in the field, being an yeah, activist for such a long time, and of course you also experienced many different protests in Serbia. And of course, a lot of people are kind of comparing these protests with the large Otpor protests that toppled Milosevic back in the day. But in the meantime, have also been big protests organized by opposition parties regarding the environment, the Rio Tinto scandal. How do you feel like these student protests since November 1? Are they different than all these other instances, or are they a continuation of this? How do you feel about that?
Yes, but we have very special situation. We are, as a society, first time in this situation, because our opposition party is so divided. We have after election 23, parliamentary election December 23, we had now, I don't know, 10 or 12 opposition party in parliament, and they doesn't starting to organizing something bigger than they are, some association, coalition, I don't know what they can call their work how they want, but the important things, we need some organizational structure in Serbia for preparing future election. And in this we can say wide space, you have now students who enter with their political demands, and they also have very big support of the people, I can say, and also they show that they like the Serbia as a country. They made very important connection with the Bosniak minority in Serbia. They connect the University of Novi Pazar and their students who is also in blockade. They made there in Novi Pazar, they made also the protest, and it was the maybe bigger protest or very big protest in Novi Pazar, and that work have regional potential, because in Federation of Bosnia, as an ethnicity of Bosnia and Herzegovina, you know, and one side you have Republika Srpska, and the other entity is Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. In Federation, we have different view on the flag of Serbia now. Completely. We will see now how it's past the 11th of July and 30 years of Srebrenica genocide, but important things that students full the space of politics with their protests, with their demands, and now with their call for and demands for the snap election.
Yeah, exactly. So if I understand also correctly, the student movement and these protests are quite different than things that happened before, because they also, in some ways, they've been able to have some reconciliation with what happened in history. And also it has a regional effect as well. And of course, many of these students, they are born after the 2000s. They are 18 years old. They have a whole other idea of history than people that were of course there and experienced the 90s. So in that sense, that's also special. And as you say, a lot of the opposition parties are at the moment more on the sideline, and they're not directly involved in the student movement per se, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe to go a little bit further on that, on the situation of the opposition parties, can you tell a little bit more about like what their tactic is at the moment, and how they at the moment organize, and what are the demands they have? Are they quite similar than the students, or are there also differences?
Yeah, but it is differences, because that I previously said that we have the problem because we haven't strong political organization or our progressive side which have clear pro-European, pro-citizen, pro-democratic values, and trying to fulfill the political space on the field. Now you have example Democratic Party, who is completely support students and says that they will support also students list. They will give all the infrastructure for their campaign. They doesn't want, and say that this is also important, that they doesn't candidate their people aside of students list. On the other side, you have some Green Left Front. They are part of European Greens. They are support. They are active on the fulfill. But this is organization which is not organization or party who can cover all Serbia. Example, in Zaječar and Kosjerić, they doesn't have any candidate on the opposition list. After that, you have some right-wing or center opposition party, which is also small. They calculated. They doesn't want to set truly that they doesn't want, as Democratic Party says, that doesn't want participate on the future parliamentary election aside of student list. And we also have this party. This is a party of freedom and justice, which also doesn't have a clear situation about their future steps. In that field, you see that we have some difference voice, and they are waiting what students will done with their demands of snap election, and calculating that if students got this election, we will trying to push them to invite us to on their list. I'm not sure that this tactic is very good and successful. I think it's the students give us in these 8 months something completely others. This is a iconic truth. They are speaking without political phrases, without any very directly, very simple. And I think it's very important that political actors also understood and changed their language in their message.
Yeah, clear. So that remains also a difficult situation among the opposition and also towards snap elections possibly. And that's also a next question I have, Miloš, is on those snap elections, because in the end, if I'm but correct me if I'm wrong, like the government party, they still have the possibility to, they are in the lead of making the elections, making the snap elections happening, right? So they can use the right moment, and at the moment the governing party, the SNS party from President Vučić, they don't seem to be interested in holding these snap elections, despite of all the protests, despite of all the mobilization, the opposition, the students, everyone going to the streets. So yeah, what will happen in the sense that the snap elections will, how can the governing party do you think, be persuaded in having these snap elections? And also, what can be done in a way to have those snap elections that can also be successful? Because we have also saw in Zaječar and Kosjerić that there have also been wide-scale irregularities again, like the last couple of elections in Serbia, with so much weird things going on at the voter booths, voter fraud, a very unfair situation before the elections with the media. So it's a very broad question from my side, but
yes. First of all, the important thing is that students shows that could make atmosphere as in Kosjerić, in Zaječar election, that we have after 13 years first time that somebody could be opposite of Serbian Progressive Party and maybe won. It's possibility, especially when you have the whole Serbia, not only the few little municipality. Then you have the election in whole Serbia. This is the first things. Other things, it's very important that we have autocrat on who lead our country and our government, and we have problem with this democratic concept that if you have any big pressure as they have now on the streets, the best solution is to go to relax the things and go in the some kind of campaigning, and through the campaigning you can see how the situation will resolve. We have autocrat, and this is not their idea. Their idea is to battle to fighting, I don't know, they want they are in some match. We can say that they are in front of students. Whole system, public system, which is paying by us, is in front of the students, and I think. This is also the question for European Union. I mean, I think it's very important that some messages from European Union could come as we have the situation in 2016, as I remember in North Macedonia. This is the same situation as there, whereas the same after negotiation and after agreement, personal agreement, as I remember well, make some kind of better election condition and also one kind of snap election. Without international support, I am not sure that we will have soon election, but we will have instability. The other things is that we have some kind of very big economic problem in our state budgeting. And maybe in this situation that the government starting doesn't have possibility to pay, I don't know, pension, public sector salaries and the other, maybe in that situation we will have the biggest pressure that they couldn't stop and must announce the snap election. This is some kind of two possibility, because their tactics is to present that everything is okay, that everything they control, everything is very good. We have expo, we have very good communication with Russia. Example, yesterday President have I'm not sure that's only through the media they have. I'm so glad that Mr. Lavrov says what Mr. Lavrov says about the situation in Serbia or something like this, and we have this kind of we can say fixed or virtual reality, which produced with the media, which is controlled by government. And in this situation, it's so hard to make bigger pressure than students now make.
Yeah, exactly. So the combination, as always in these very difficult and very tense political situation around protests, are the next steps are very much in the hands of a combination of grassroots mobilization and international pressure. Together can make a change which helps democratization, helps rule of law, and also helps accountability brought forward. So, and in a sense, as you also explain, Miloš, the students have a very big support in Serbia.
Yes.
I don't know exactly the numbers, but you may know them. It's around 70 to 80% of Serbian population being positive of student demands, also because of the accountability and the corruption, and also the economy that's lacking because of that for years and years, and also the EU integration process lacking because of that in the last couple of years. And a lot of people in Serbia still want to become part of European Union. Although, yeah, despite of all the international difficulties that have been as well, so that also makes the situation in a way that the European institutions do have a role to play there as well. So I'm also looking towards the Q&A a little bit, and I got one question already from someone beforehand, and that's about the list of students. Because they
Okay.
already announced a list, right? They were working on a list through also these plenums, like these models of direct democracy, where they vote and they decide in like these big, like town hall kind of setting, where they discuss and they come to unanimous decisions, which sometimes takes a lot of time, but it's also a very interesting model of direct democracy being applied in real life. Something that a lot of people in other democracies and other countries will be very interested in, with citizens' assemblies also something that's being organized more and more. But the question was about the student list. Like, what's the situation with the current student list, and is it already something known about what people will be on the list? Is that already the case? That's a question I got.
Yeah, this is very interesting how how they proceed all these steps in preparation of future election. In April, they starting to discussing what will be the next steps and what will be the next demands, and how they will organizing things. And it was a little bit slower. You know, this plenum in which they is organizing is so slow, because this is participative, this is completely democratic. This is a meeting with I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of lasting, and they discuss so much and so more about all the details and all the things. Other things, they haven't some leaders. They always change, and this is some lesson learned also for opposition, that they couldn't the government and couldn't pick and target only, I don't know, leaders, and on this way show that the students protest is some three or four people, and these 3 or 4 people are bad. And now we have the very big and huge number of people who are involved in the structure of students movement and on the faculty, and they okay, they announced, they decided to go to snap election. They announced this, and after that they started to make criteria for the students list, and this criteria is very simple. You couldn't be on the list if you are student. You couldn't be on the list if you are a member of some prominent figure of ruling party. This is a socialist party, SNS, and other satellite of Serbian Progressive Party. You couldn't be candidate if you are now or in the previous time was a functionary of some opposition party, and you must be you must have some influence on the local level. And we have now some university professors. They doesn't. I expect that they will publish on 28 their list. They doesn't do this. They have negotiation. Every faculty have 4 place, I think, four place possibility to give suggestion who they decided their plenum who will be maybe candidate, and after that the common plan, this is upper way of deciding, will decide who will be. They will trying to have the 50-50 gender balance. They trying to have also the representative from all university center. And at the beginning they are trying to have from every municipality, but after that they see that it is not possible that they have future MPs from the small municipality, but they want to have a representative for every university city. This is Sombor, Subotica, Novi Sad, Belgrade, Kragujevac, Niš, Kraljevo, Novi Pazar. They have also the very good connection with Kosovska Mitrovica University. This is university from Pristina before. And this is a way how they will decide it. We don't have any clear situation about who will be on the list. We know that rector of Belgrade University says in the media that it will be honor for him to be on the list, and now he is targeting as a terrorist from Saturday, because he spoke on Saturday protest, and now he is targeting by government media as a terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for clarifying this and giving some more information also about how the elections and how those student lists are being composed of all the different universities, all the different processes, which is also very interesting development. That's something to talk about and discuss in many more instances, I would presume. We also got an encouragement from the chat from George, who said, "Thank you for your interest in Serbia. We need help, any kind of help from outside. The ugly creature is killing us, literally." So it's an encouragement. So thank you, George, for stating this. If there are any more questions from in the chat from the viewers, let us know, because we will be closing off in a couple of minutes. Time is going very quickly. But I do have one more question myself to you, Miloš. It's also a little bit about the international dimension, because we already discussed quite something about how popular the students are, how the protests are developing, how they've been able to mobilize so many people, and building the pressure for accountability for what happened in Novi Sad, what happens in Serbia as a whole, and also towards these snap elections. But I also hear, stories and about people that they really need support from European Union as much as possible to make the next steps and to put the pressure. But it's always quite difficult, that support, because you see like these institutions are a little bit careful about how they state things, about how they go about it, how, for example, to call for elections, these kinds of things, and you see that in the end, this support is not being perceived as enough. So also here, coming from the audience here, for example, I'm looking towards what can we do, and I'm also looking a little bit to the regional perspective, with two countries now in the region making some steps towards further EU integration, Montenegro and Albania, especially Montenegro, I think, are opening more and more chapters.
Yeah.
Would that be a way for also for support to the Serbian student movement and for the Serbian Democrat movement to say, like, the EU process is completely, at the moment, it isn't happening anymore. We cannot open chapters unless you fulfill the demands being set by these immense protests in your country, and to regain stability, political stability, in that way. Could that be a way also by using like some leverage of other countries that are now making progress and show that it is possible to enter the European Union, hopefully before 2029? Would that be something that could work in the Serbian context, you would see, Miloš?
Yeah, if actual government rests, directly on the last question about 2029, I think I'm not sure, but we hoped for stronger European Union support. I know that government and president make some connection. They have so many different connection with European People's Party. They also use Orban. Every time when they have some critics from European Union, next day they have some events with Orban or something like this. Also, they are very skilled, and they made the things to present here for their voters very interesting. It was example when the students have in Brussels very huge number of different meetings with the European Union functionaries. In the same period, you have some conference organizing by far-right European Parliament group for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and in the news you have okay, we have students who are, example, discussing with Marta Kosovo, but we have also support from the other side of European Union party who are very strong with Serbia, and this kind of game is he's very skilled in this kind of game. But problem, so many people ask me why we haven't why we haven't European Union flags. Example, this is not question about European Union or other way. This is a question about the European Union values, which we doesn't mention, especially in European Union. This is a rule of law. This is transparency. This is strong institution. This is accountability. This is a very, very important democracy also. Way how we give decision and how we involve the people in the decision-making process. This is what students want, and I personally think, oh, this is very smart. Okay, now European Union have way to push this value, but I am not sure that they use. We have some European member of European Parliament who spoke about this. Okay, what the students demand. This is also European Union demands, but we doesn't have European Commission who spoke on this way. This is one way of explanation. The other is I think is very bad situation because 10 days ago we had that commission paid on our budget from the growth budget 51.7 million of euro for Serbia. And this is a sign for governments that they are on the good way. I'm not sure that anyone in the European Union thinks that we are in the good way, because we doesn't open any question. After that, we had this problem with about electronic media, and now the students make pressure. If you remember, in May, they 15 days blocked the broadcasting public emission, Radio Televizija Srbije, and they got possibility now to make the better regulatory body, but they doesn't use this. They made the same things because the last one is dropping. And we haven't pressure on the European Union that somebody says that is unacceptable. This is enough is enough. I think that we are in the field of politics on the one kind of language which is some kind of critics, but you haven't directly some kind of critics that you said this is not good. The way in which Serbia going on is not European way.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, Miloš, for clarifying. And really, in the end of the webinar, almost before closing off, I got another question still. So it's good to cover that one still as well. It's from Casey King, who asks that you mentioned that the EU is transparent, has good institutions, but that he heard that after the lithium mine deal and Merkel and von der Leyen cozying up to Vučić, the young people no longer believe this. So, is that
yes, it's true. We have some very problematic issues to discuss with European Union. One of this issue is lithium. And because we have this strong pressure about, and we see this pressure about multinational company Rio Tinto, who can buy whole Serbia if they want, because their budget is bigger than budget of Serbia. And this is a problem with if European Union wants to have some kind of dirty space where they will mining the lithium but destroying the Serbia nature. we are not glad with them. The other things it's about this connection of supporting president and also Serbian Progressive Party. Everybody see that we announce opposition party, especially announce the problem with the election, with media, and nobody read it. And it's past, I don't know, 10 years or last 5 years if we could discussing. Okay, we have this in some report, but nobody react. And the third thing is that I think personally that is the Russia influence and Russia message. This is if we are going to European Union, we lose Kosovo. Kosovo is now finishing their integration, but we see with the new government how long is now they have problem with after the election in February. They haven't government until now, and everybody see that something happened, and in the circumstances that you have, okay, the dialogue with Trump, with I don't know somebody else, that something could change. Nobody understood that what happened. And this is, I think, for me, the three important things which we must discussing as a representative of Serbia, as a European Union representative, about to see and explain the people in Serbia that for me, it's unacceptable that we don't going in European Union because we don't have any other solution. This is our strategic orientation as a country.
Yeah, yeah, clear. So, yeah, in a sense, all these processes also show that the paradigm and the idea of stabilitocracy, which has been so prevalent in the Serbian case, has now for real crumbled down due to these student protests. And as you also explained clearly, in the European Union, there are so many different political dynamics and political directions, and there are also some directions still that are in favor of stabilitocracy, are in favor of pure autocracy. We see many, but there are also progressives, and there are also social democrat groups, and a lot of parts that are also very much in favor of going forward, towards democratization of and respecting the rule of law in many senses. So in that sense, we have to do everything that's possible also to support those people that stand for those narratives. So thanks so much, Miloš, for explaining that a bit more to us. And I think, like, we have been talking for 50 minutes, and we've, I think, only covered like the top of the iceberg. There's so much going on in Serbia. There's so much going on in politics, and yeah, I want to thank you also for updating us on the regular with your newsletter. We will also include the information, everything, and your website in the description below on YouTube. So people, as you watch this, you can also find it online. And yeah, let's catch up again, like somewhere around autumn, when there will be definitely some more things being organized and having happened in Serbia, and then we can update again, because I think the situation merits that. But for now, many thanks for being here and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you to inviting me and to have occasion to present how the view from one perspective from Serbia is look like.
Yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, we'll be in touch, Miloš. And for the viewers also, thanks so much for joining here, for being present again. And we will organize also around summer a couple of more webinars, and also in the autumn, when there are also some elections coming up again. We expect local elections in North Macedonia, but also important parliamentary elections in Moldova, which will be also covered by us, by the European Forum. So hope to see you there again. And for now, thanks so much, and